For years, Linc Edochie the quieter, more reserved son of the veteran actor Pete Edochie was hailed as a peaceful opposite of his controversial brother Yul. But in shocking twist, Linc has secretly remarried an older US-based woman with grown kids, quietly walking away from his wife of 13 years, Amaka Paula, without public notice or explanation. The same man who once criticized Yul's messy second marriage is now neck-deep in his own plot twist, and social media is eating it up. Before Nollywood Twitter could say, "Oh Diego," a marital scandal quietly exploded in the background of the Edochie dynasty. Yes, the same Edochie family that once used to be the UN peacekeeping unit of Nollywood marriages. But as of 2025, Pete Edochie's sons are giving more drama than a full season of tinsel. How did the Edochie family's peaceful son become the latest headline in Nollywood's marriage saga? Let me remind you to hit the like button to like this video. If you are new here, drop a comment to indicate your presence, and let's get into the gist. Long before whispers began to swell, Linc Edochie and Amaka Paula Edochie, formerly known by many as Apple, were celebrated as the epitome of a modern, purposeful driven Nigerian couple. Their union, sealed on December 4th, 2010, was a beacon of hope and aspiration. The ceremony was intimate but lavish, a perfect balance of culture and class, with dignitaries, friends, and family coming together to witness what they believe was the start of a lifelong love story. Amaka, a dynamic and deeply driven woman from Nnebe in Anambra State, had long envisioned building a legacy rooted in education, healing, and empowerment. Her resume read like a success blueprint: an experienced sex therapist, certified caregiver, trained teacher, anti-depression talk therapist, and founder of various impactful ventures including Jokerman Limited, Unwind Events Limited, Panacea Tranquil Foundation, and the Aglo Baby Haven. The couple co-managed ABH Academy, a thriving school in Abuja offering educational services from creche to primary level. Linc, the third son of legendary actor Pete Edochie, was already known in Nollywood as a gifted actor, scriptwriter, and director. After taking a prolonged hiatus to pursue other interests, Linc made a quiet return to the screen in 2020, exuding the same charisma that first endeared him to fans years earlier. The marriage seemed perfect, joyous ventures flourishing, and their public image untainted. Their family grew with the birth of two daughters. Janina, born on August 15, 2011, was quick-witted, intellectually curious, and known for her deep, observant nature. Her younger sister, Giovanni, born on November 12, 2014, was equally brilliant, radiating the same creative spark that characterized her mother from every angle. Theirs was a family that embodied structure, excellence, and success, at least on the surface. But reality was peeling away the layers. Over time, as Amaka's profile rose with her flourishing enterprises and numerous accolades, a subtle but undeniable rift began to form in their relationship. Close friends noticed Linc's declining presence at family events, his absence from key school occasions, and his growing emotional detachment, although he still contributed significantly to the Academy's operations. Something intangible had shifted. His daughter, his laughter was less frequent, his eyes more distracted. By 2023, murmurs of trouble at home had started to ripple across social circles. Yet, there were no public scandals, no explosive arguments, no cryptic social media quotes, no courtroom drama. What existed instead was a quiet, agonizing drift where love didn't die with a bang but faded in sighs, shrugs, and silence. Unbeknownst to most, Linc had been quietly carving out a new emotional sanctuary. In the background of his carefully curated public life was a deepening relationship with Yinka Thiessen, a composed and graceful woman based in the United States. Unlike Amaka, Yinka was not a public figure. She had grown children of her own, the youngest a recent high school graduate, and lived a relatively low-key life. Their initial connection was innocent, built on shared values, mutual admiration, and conversations that turned into late-night calls, and then something far more profound. Yinka's quiet strength, self-awareness, and unwavering faith resonated deeply with Linc, who by then was evolving into someone more introspective and emotionally self-protective. He was no longer the man who once stood on red carpets and school stages. He was now someone seeking healing, rest, and spiritual alignment. By May 2025, the relationship had matured into something irreversible. Linc and Yinka tied the knot in an extremely private ceremony, devoid of public fanfare or media speculation. No matching abadas or ashwebi parties, no press releases, just a few trusted witnesses and a quiet vow exchange that bound them in what was, arguably, the most controversial chapter of Linc's personal life. The marriage remained healing until Yinka, filled with joy and gratitude, finally acknowledged it on social media. Her post was heartfelt, reflective, and subtly defiant. She spoke of a love that blossomed from friendship and grew into a promise. But buried in her celebratory words was a sharp phrase: "Crossfire from a woman scorned," a statement that immediately sparked a firestorm. Though she never mentioned names, the allusion was clear. Amaka, while publicly silent, was not passively watching from the sidelines. The internet exploded. Blogs, gossip sites, and social media pundits weighed in. How could this man, who seemed to have it all, a successful life and wife, two amazing daughters, a reputable brand, just up and start over? When did this separation happen? Why was there no announcement? And perhaps, most pointedly, had Amaka been left in the dark? Linc attempted to weather the storm with the same quiet poise he had adopted for years, but trouble came knocking from a direction no one expected: his younger brother, Yul Edochie. Only a few months earlier, Linc had chided Yul publicly for airing his marital affairs on social media. Yul had faced intense criticism for marrying a second wife, actress Judy, while still legally bound to his first wife, May. That situation had spiraled into a public circus of betrayal claims, emotional videos, and an ongoing divorce. Linc had used his brother's drama as a cautionary tale, urging you to practice restraints and preserve family dignity. You, who clearly not forgotten the reprimand, pounced the moment Linc's secret marriage came to light. In a sharply worded Instagram post, Yul dragged his brother, accusing him of hypocrisy and cowardice. He taunted Linc for pretending to be noble while orchestrating a covert wedding behind the scenes. According to Yul, those who shouted the loudest about privacy were often hiding the dirtiest laundry. The post hit a nerve and went viral within hours. Fans of the Edochie family were divided. Some defended Linc's rights to peace and privacy. Others sided with Yul, calling out double standards and suggesting that Linc's silence was not virtue, but manipulation. Suddenly, Linc's polished image was under siege. The same audiences who admired his discretion now accused him of deceit. How could he, the sensible one, the reserved Edochie, betray a woman like Amaka who has supported his vision and raised her daughters with grace and dedication? Amidst the chaos, Amaka held her head high. She did not release a statement. She did not unfollow or shade anyone. She simply continued her work, posting motivational quotes, expanding her businesses, and staying visibly committed to her daughter's well-being. Her silence was louder than words. Apple became more than a moniker. It became a symbol of elegance under pressure. Yinka, on the other hand, took a different approach. While she didn't dwell in controversy, her social media presence subtly showcased her new life. Occasional photos of shared meals, scripture-based captions, and serene couple moments painted a picture of calm domesticity. There were no direct jobs, but the message was clear. She was now part of the Edochie narrative, and she was not going anywhere. The saga brought to the fore broader questions about marriage, separation, and transparency, especially for public figures. Was Linc justified in moving on quietly if the marriage had long been over in practice? Did Amaka deserve a public acknowledgement of their split? Was Yinka truly a partner found in healing, or simply a wedge in an already fractured union? As the year unfolded, Linc began a re-entering Nollywood with renewed vigor. He picked film roles that seemed to mirror his inner journey. Complex characters about choices, loss, and redemption. He granted interviews that carefully avoided personal topics but gave glimpses into a man who had experienced significant emotional transformation. Through it all, one truth remained: life had moved on. Amaka, ever the phoenix, continued to rise. Her foundation gained international attention. She expanded her mental wellness workshops, and her academy introduced new tech-based learning programs. She was not just surviving, she was thriving. Linc, though under scrutiny, seemed grounded in his new reality. He and Yinka appeared content, embracing a quieter life, marked by shared beliefs and mutual respect. And in the middle of it all were Chinenye and Giovanni, two young girls growing up in a world where their family narrative had shifted. What they would make of it in time remains to be seen. But one thing was certain: they were deeply loved by both parents, and they would always be the invisible thread tying Linc and Amaka together, long after the vows were broken and the secrets revealed. So if you enjoyed the video, quickly hit the subscribe button and like this video. Then click on the video showing on the screen to watch the next video. Click on it now before this very video ends. See you in the next video.